substitution for showing up on time, knowing the task at hand, and having an idea that you...
Tom Hanks wasn't born into Hollywood privilege or raised under the spotlight. His story began in Concord, California, in 1956, where he grew up in a working-class family marked by divorce and instability. His childhood wasn't glamorous. He's admitted in interviews that he often felt like an outsider, moving between homes and struggling to find stability. But what he lacked in comfort, he made up for in imagination. Theater became his escape, a way to step into other people's lives and forget the turbulence of his own. In college, Hanks discovered that his natural charm and grounded presence made him stand out. Unlike actors who relied on pure good looks or flamboyance, Hanks had something different: authenticity. When he performed, audiences didn't just watch a character, they believed in him. That rare quality would go on to define his career. The early years weren't easy. Hanks took whatever roles he could get, including stage work and small TV parts. His big break came in 1980 with the sitcom Bosom Buddies, where he played a man forced to disguise himself as a woman to secure an apartment. The premise was lighthearted and silly, but critics noticed Hanks's comedic timing and undeniable likability. Hollywood had found something rare: a leading man who could make people laugh without arrogance. The 1980s launched him into mainstream success with films like Splash, Big, and Turner and Hooch. Each role showcased his versatility, bouncing between comedy and heartfelt sincerity. By the time he starred in Big in 1988, earning his first Academy Award nomination, it was clear Hanks was more than a funny man. He was a generational talent. But it was the 1990s that cemented his place as America's dad. In just a few years, Hanks delivered an almost unimaginable string of classics: Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Apollo 13, Saving Private Ryan, and Toy Story. Each film revealed another layer of his ability, whether he was portraying a lawyer battling AIDS, a man with childlike innocence navigating history, or a voice that defined childhood for millions as Woody. He wasn't just acting. He was shaping cultural memory. Audiences connected with him because he reflected the best parts of humanity: kindness, resilience, vulnerability, and optimism. While other stars relied on mystery or scandal to stay relevant, Hanks seemed refreshingly normal. He was the rare A-list actor who people genuinely believed they could sit down and have a conversation with. That relatability became his superpower. By the early 2000s, Hanks had become a two-time Oscar winner, a box office draw, and a respected producer. His collaborations with directors like Steven Spielberg only deepened his reputation as Hollywood royalty. Yet, behind the scenes, the weight of being America's favorite actor was beginning to take its toll. The higher the pedestal, the harder the fall, and Hanks was about to discover that even icons aren't immune to tragedy, both personal and professional. To the outside world, Tom Hanks has always seemed invincible. The smile, the charisma, the effortless ability to embody characters who reflect the best of humanity. It's easy to forget that behind that image is a man who has battled private struggles that most fans rarely see. One of the biggest challenges Hanks has faced is his health. In 2013, during an appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman, he revealed that he had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The admission shocked fans, but for Hanks, it wasn't a sudden development. He explained that his doctors had warned him for years about his fluctuating blood sugar levels, especially after he gained and lost extreme amounts of weight for roles in films like Castaway and Philadelphia. Those physical transformations made for powerful performances, but they also left lasting effects on his body. Managing the condition has meant major lifestyle adjustments. Hanks has joked about being unable to eat a cheeseburger anymore, but behind the humor is a serious reality. Diabetes is a lifelong struggle that demands constant vigilance. For someone who has lived much of his life in the spotlight, it means balancing work, stress, and personal health in ways that few outsiders truly understand. Beyond health, Hanks has also faced family struggles that complicate the perfect image. His marriage to actress Samantha Lewis in the late 1970s ended in divorce, leaving him a single father to 2 children while his career was just beginning. Later, his second marriage to Rita Wilson became one of Hollywood's most admired love stories, but even that has carried its share of trials. Wilson was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015, and Hanks stood by her side through surgery and recovery. For all the awards and accolades, it was in those quiet, personal battles that his resilience was truly tested. His relationship with his children has also been a point of public tension. Colin Hanks, his eldest son, has followed in his footsteps with a respected acting career. But his younger son, Chet, has often made headlines for controversial behavior, including struggles with addiction and erratic public statements. While Hanks has rarely commented directly on these issues, the contrast between his wholesome public image and the turmoil within his family life has been impossible to ignore. It has served as a reminder that even America's dad can't shield his family from hardship. Then came the global pandemic in 2020, when Hanks and Wilson became two of the first major celebrities to contract COVID-19. Their diagnosis, while they were in Australia, made international headlines. Fans around the world held their breath, fearing the worst. Though both ultimately recovered, the experience rattled Hanks, who later spoke about the exhaustion, body aches, and uncertainty that came with the virus. It was another sobering reminder that even the most beloved figures are not immune to life's fragility. What makes these struggles feel so tragic isn't just that Hanks has endured them, it's that he has endured them while carrying the weight of being a symbol of hope and optimism for millions. Fans look at him and see stability, kindness, and resilience. But the truth is, Hanks has faced many of the same fears, losses, and health battles as anyone else, and the pressure to always live up to that image only makes the burden heavier. Tom Hanks has long been considered one of the most beloved and respected figures in Hollywood. With his wholesome reputation, many saw him as untouchable, a rarity in an industry often plagued by scandal. Yet fame at the level Hanks has achieved comes with a price. Over the years, he has not been immune to controversy, rumors, and the relentless scrutiny of the media. One of the most difficult aspects of his fame is the way his image has been used, both celebrated and attacked. Hanks has often been labeled America's Dad, a title that carries warmth but also weight. For decades, audiences expected him to embody perfection, both on and off screen. That expectation left little room for mistakes or even human complexity. Whenever his family faced public issues, critics were quick to question whether the man known for Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan could really live up to his reputation. The controversies surrounding his son, Chet Hanks, highlighted this tension. Chet's battles with substance abuse, his outspoken and sometimes inflammatory public statements, and his polarizing presence online have frequently dragged Hanks's name into the headlines. While many sympathize with Hanks as a father trying to support a struggling child, others have unfairly used the situation to chip away at his pristine image. It is a cruel reality of fame. The actions of family members are often judged as reflections of the celebrity themselves. Beyond family matters, Hanks has also faced criticism in the age of social media, where misinformation spreads quickly. Conspiracy theories have, at times, bizarrely targeted him, painting him in an unrecognizable light. Though completely unfounded, these rumors have forced Hanks into a position he never asked for, defending himself against baseless accusations while maintaining his dignity. For someone who has spent a lifetime building trust with audiences, these moments have been particularly painful. Even professionally, Hanks has not escaped the harsh glare of criticism. Some of his later films, once guaranteed box office successes, have underperformed, leading pundits to suggest that his era as Hollywood's most bankable star may be over. For an actor who has built his career on excellence, these narratives sting, even if they are an inevitable part of a decades-long career. It's not just about reviews or box office numbers, it's about the narrative that even Tom Hanks can fall from grace. What makes this chapter of his life so tragic is not that Hanks has done anything to tarnish his legacy. It's that the world he helped inspire has at times turned against him. The scrutiny of fame magnifies personal struggles, distorts truths, and leaves little room for privacy. Hanks, who has always strived to live with integrity, has had to carry the burden of being a symbol in a culture quick to elevate and just as quick to tear down. Yet, through it all, he has remained remarkably composed. Hanks rarely lashes out at critics, nor does he fan the flames of controversy. Instead, he leans on his core values: humility, kindness, and honesty. This grace under pressure may be part of why the rumors and criticisms, though painful, have never managed to overshadow his career entirely. But they do leave behind a bittersweet truth. Even the most admired figures are not safe from the darker side of fame. Tom Hanks is still with us, still acting, still lending his voice to projects that inspire. Yet when people talk about the tragedy of his story at 69, it isn't about a single moment. It's about the contrast between the image we hold of him and the reality of his journey. For decades, Hanks has symbolized hope, goodness, and resilience. He has been the cinematic voice that reassures us that everything will be all right. To discover that behind the curtain he has carried heavy burdens makes his story feel deeply human and profoundly heartbreaking. Part of this tragedy lies in how much Hanks has given of himself. To deliver performances like Forrest Gump or Cast Away, he sacrificed his body, pushing it to extremes for authenticity. Those choices won him awards, but also contributed to long-term health issues, including the diabetes he now manages daily. The irony is that the very dedication that made him great has left him vulnerable. His body bears the weight of a lifetime, spent giving everything to his craft. Another element is the pressure of being America's dad. Hanks has long been a moral compass in a world of unstable celebrity figures. Yet no one can live up to such an ideal. The expectations placed on him left little room for mistakes, privacy, or even the ordinary messiness of family life. Watching his son struggle in the public eye, seeing rumors swirl around his name, and battling his own health while still trying to meet those expectations. It paints a picture of a man carrying more than anyone should have to, but perhaps the most heartbreaking truth is that time is catching up with him. At 69, Hanks is no longer the fresh-faced everyman running across the screen in Big or Saving Private Ryan. He is older, more fragile, more aware of his limitations. For fans, this shift is painful. We want to believe our heroes are timeless, immune to the aging process. Seeing Hanks confront mortality and health struggles forces us to confront our own, and yet in the midst of all this, there is something profoundly moving about his journey. The tragedy doesn't erase the triumphs, it deepens them. Knowing the hardships he has endured makes his kindness, humility, and continued dedication to storytelling even more powerful. He isn't just an actor playing characters who embody humanity's best qualities. He is a man who, despite setbacks, continues to live those values himself. His legacy, then, is not simply about the roles he has played. It's about resilience. It's about honesty in the face of struggle. And it's about reminding us that even those who seem larger than life are still human beings with their own battles. At 69, Tom Hanks' story is heartbreaking not because it's ending, but because it reveals the cost of greatness. It shows us that behind every beloved film and every unforgettable performance is a man who has suffered, endured, and kept going. And that makes his legacy not only iconic but unforgettable.